Okay, another part of our breathing practice, it's called Ujjayi breath or oceanic breath, Darth Vader breath. It basically sounds like you're snoring in a yoga class. Um, so basically, again, it's a constricting of the throat. So how I try to explain it to my students is like, imagine that you have a mirror, you're trying to fog up a mirror. So it's like, but we're doing it with the mouth closed. So it's, and then when we inhale, drawing it in through the diaphragm, constricting the throat. So that is our oceanic breath or Ujjayi breath, and kind of what that does is help distract the brain from the pain. That's kind of how I explain it in class. It gives your brain kind of something else to focus on until you become more of a, seasoned yogi where you're not in excruciating pain just being in down dog. A lot of my athletes struggle just being in a downward facing dog. So them trying to breathe and do all that is really hard for them. But when I can teach them how to make their breath more audible, it gives their brain something to do. So it's a very important breath. And again, we want to extend the exhale twice as long as the inhale. And so again, it's a practice and it's something that comes throughout time. At the end of class, so after Shavasana, which is a very, very important pose, and I cannot stress this enough. I always call it the hardest pose in yoga because we're laying on the mat and you're just there basically being a corpse. Shavasana means corpse pose or dead man pose, however you want to explain it. And we're just literally laying there, trying to let the thoughts come and go, just recognizing them as important or not, but then let them go. And just laying on the mat. There's so many times I'll see people like looking around, like, what are we doing? Why are we just laying here on the mat? And a lot of people are really uncomfortable just being by themselves, quiet for 5 minutes. But try not to skip on Shavasana. It's a very, very important pose. It allows your body to absorb your practice. It's very good for your nervous system. So everything that we're doing in practice is manipulating the nervous system. So at the end of Shavasana, I'll have people either go into some supine twists, and then we always go onto our right side in a fetal position in a pose of gratitude. And I just say a few things about, what they could be grateful for or things that they could focus on. But then we come to a seated position with our eyes closed. So come back to the position that we started in. And again, we have our left hand on our heart and our right hand on our belly. One, this allows us to notice where our breath is coming from. Two, it helps us connect to our heart center, which is very, very important. I'm not going to get into it in this one, but that will, when we go into the heart rate variability and the heart coherence section of the training, I'll go into a lot more depth. But we'll actually, before we do this, we'll do that after we breathe. But I usually have people take their middle finger to the bridge of their nose, and I usually tell them, because that's the finger you probably want to give me right now. And so we use our right thumb for our right nostril, and then our right ring finger for our left nostril. And so just depending on what breath, but for this video, I'm just going to walk you through, it's called box breathing. So we inhale 4, we exhale 4, we hold for 4, and then we exhale for 4. And so, the plugging of the nose is very important. So don't let people skip that part, because we are doing nervous system training, and the plugging of the nose kind of gives the body a little bit of a freak out. Which is kind of what we're doing. So in yoga, we're freaking the body out and we're calming it down. We're freaking it out and we're calming it down. And that way we're more proactive instead of reactive off of our mat. So we're actually training ourselves for life on our mat. I know a lot of people think that yoga is for fitness, which it definitely is or can be, but I always tell people that's the side effect of yoga. The way our body looks and feels is the side effect of yoga, but why we practice is to control the mind, to discipline the mind through the body. So we inhale through the nose For 1, 2, 3, 4. We plug the nose and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug the nose and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do this for 3 rounds, and it's very important. And then at the end, when they get done breathing, again, we go back to our hand over our heart, hand over our belly, and you just close out the class with anything that resonates with you. One thing that I always teach my students is I want you to find your own voice in class. So the things that I say might not resonate with you, and the things that other teachers say. So find your voice and find what resonates with you and your students. So you'll need to find things that you want to say, or things. I read a lot of stuff out of books, or I find quotes that I like a lot of times, and I just add that to the end. So again, just to review, we do the breath of fire at the beginning, and then we do the establishing the breath. So we're in down dog, and we inhale, and then we and do a little bit of lion's breath, which is the detoxing breath. And then we're just trying to establish the breath. And then we want to go into our constricted throat, so our ujjayi, or our oceanic breath, the snoring breath, and then the balancing breath at the end. So the box breath is one that I use all the time, and then as your students advance, or as you advance in teaching, we will go through all of the rest of those. But for now, those are the breaths that are required for this course, and I hope to see you again soon.